thinking about you. Been thinking about you. Been thinking about, thinking about, thinking about. I ain't been thinking about you. Been thinking about you. Been thinking about, thinking about. I ain't been thinking about you.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda Williams, also known as Thatslovelyy. If you are a new subscriber, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you aren't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my weekly goodies. This week's video is dedicated to all my beautiful queens. That's right, all you ladies. But there's always a little something that anybody can take away from this. So let's get started, shall we? In the month of March, I have been feeding my soul, feeding my heart, feeding my mind with the right things. I've been reading books, and there's two books that I'm going to be talking about today that have absolutely changed my entire perspective on life. Yes, and I'm not being an extra, I really mean it. Today we're going to be talking about relationships, healthy and unhealthy friendships and relationships. So this is the first book, Why Men Love Bitches by Argov. This had to have been one of my favorite books. This book gives you the hard, cold truth. We have all been that, I'm just gonna say it, that doormat girl. Yes, ladies, we have all been that woman, that yes girl, that I'll do anything for you, that I don't ever wanna let you go. The same woman that's willing to put out everything of herself and never get anything back. I want us to focus on self-love. I want us to be fully in love with ourselves, to fall madly in love with ourselves before we even start thinking of pouring out our love to anyone else. If you don't take care of yourself, how do you expect to take care of anybody else? How do you expect to love someone other than yourself? It's time that you take a seat and reflect on what's been happening. What kind of friendships have you allowed in your life? What kind of relationships have you continuously allowed in? What kind of cycle do you constantly find yourself in? Is it with the person that's just an a-hole that treats you like trash all the time? Because if that's the case, then honey, it's because of you. You allow it. You have to realize that if it does not hurt enough, if you don't feel disrespected enough, then that's all you're ever going to put up with. That is all you're ever going to settle for. You know you're better than that. You know you deserve more than that. I'm not where I personally want to be in my life, but I know I am so happy with where I am. I am finally at peace with myself. Why? Because I'm beginning to madly fall in love with myself. And that means fully understanding what your worth is. What is my value? What does Amanda deserve? What is her worth? Everything you do is a reflection of who you think you are on the inside. I mean, honey, wake up. If you really take the time to fully own in on your heart's desire, don't get me wrong, there's no perfect person out there in this world, but there are certain things that you shouldn't compromise with. Lifestyle choices, habits, beliefs. Take all that in consideration. I mean, a person's not just a cute face. A person is not just swag. Take into account everything that makes a person and see if that person for once deserves to be with you. It's not always about changing who you are to fit someone else. You got to turn it around. Start thinking of yourself as the prize for once. When I hear someone say such and such completes me, that breaks my heart, because it's so evident that the person themselves, they don't even see themselves as being whole and complete enough to live on their own. It's important to understand that that person is an extension of who you are, is an extension of the relation that you're creating for yourself. They don't make you. They don't make the relationship. They don't make the friendship. You bring a whole and they bring a whole, and together you're gonna slay as two wholes. It's so important to not be unequally yoked in a relationship, and it's so true. If you don't see y'all's differences now, you will one day. You may choose to ignore it, you may choose to look the other way, but the truth always comes up to the surface. Always. It's okay if you've been some kind of person in the past. You can choose to be who you want to be and start all over by choosing to see yourself differently. So the second book is called Choosing Me Before We by Christine Arylo. If this book is not real, then I don't know what is. After reading this, I've been wondering, like, where the heck have I been? Like, what kind of life was I living before I read these things? I don't regret anything I've ever experienced, anything I ever involved myself with, because it made me who I am today. This book made me realize that as a society, like, we're not even aware of this, but we've chosen to sometimes fall in love with the potential of a person. We don't even tend to look at what's in front of us. We automatically tend to fantasize and dream about what the person could transform themselves into, aka how we can fix that person. And if there's anything that I've learned lately is when people show you who they are, when they tell you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't make excuses for them. Just believe them. Hey, I don't want to be with you. I'm unavailable. Okay. And I love myself enough to respect you enough to let you go. I mean, it is what it is. Why stick around? Why? For what? And yet there's so many people willing to do that, willing to wait forever. You got people living together. You got people engaged. You got people not engaged. Yet one person sitting around waiting for the rock. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And the whole time, the truth is in your face. The person is not ready to be with you. Don't be with anyone that's not ready to be with you. Realize this. The person that's ready to make a lifetime commitment to you will know that you're worth it, and they'll act accordingly at the right time. So until then, let the person go, and if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be. On the other hand, if the person doesn't see the worth in creating that commitment, that lifetime commitment with you, this is a reality check for you that maybe that person's not for you. Prior to realizing that, your inner self-love should have already detected that, because if you love yourself enough, then you would have already recognized the thing that's lacking, that thing that's missing. Once you show your inner self real love, anyone that comes your way will have to match that self-love. You naturally wouldn't want to settle for anything less. If I'm treating myself like a queen, why would I want someone that's gonna treat me like a peasant? I mean, come on now. This isn't boasting. This isn't I can do bad all by myself type of attitude. Society's been teaching us that loving ourselves has become an act of selfishness. How can you help someone else if you can't even help yourself? If you can give yourself that attention that you need, how can you give someone else that attention? I mean, come on now. You have moms nowadays that devote their life to their families, their kids, their husbands, whoever's in their life, and they just give and give and give and give. And but at the end of the day, they're so worn out. They have nothing left to give themselves. This is crazy. It's ridiculous. And yet we see that all the time, and it's become our norm. That's the scary thing. It has become our norm. So what are we going to do about it? I'm here today to tell you that there is a way out. You don't have to continue to live like this. You absolutely do not. There's so many great points that these books have made. I've learned that pain is inevitable. But suffering is your choice. You choose if you want to suffer. These are some tools you can use to free yourself from the habits that you've held on to, from the pain that you've chosen to live in. And this goes for men and women. It's not just about women. My heart's crying for my queens out there that don't even know they're wearing a crown. That's because they threw it somewhere. Honey, you have worth. You have values. You're a whole queen and a half. Honey, slay. Slay from the inside. I love you, and I don't even know who you are, but I have love for you because I love myself, and I'm learning to love myself. And I'm not perfect, nor will I ever be, but as long as I strive for perfection, that's all that matters. That is all that matters. Honey, if you're in a relationship with a person that does not add any type of substance in your life, walk away from it, please. Please walk away from it. And if you need someone to tell you to walk away from it, that's a red flag. You should already know what you deserve. Don't sit around and wait for people to tell you what you deserve. You should define that yourself. Author Christine says, until you can respond yes to the question, do I know myself? Do I really, really know myself and what I want? You have absolutely no business making any lifetime commitments. The truth always surfaces, whether you choose to ignore it or not. And the truth is always in here. It's always in your heart. Listen to that gut feeling. Pray and meditate. Reflect. Think. Love yourself. Dedicate some me time. I mean, we don't even have time to sit down and really think anymore because our minds are just clouded with so many things. I mean, I'm guilty of it. It's great to pursue a career. It's great to pursue your hobbies. It's great to mingle with friends and family. It's great to do all of that. I mean, that's what life is all about, right? These are life's obligations. But when do you become an obligation? Are you scared of being by yourself, of being alone? Is that biological clock ticking? We are driven by fear and our insecurities 100% of the time. We're not even conscious of this, but our fears and insecurities drive our actions. I mean, wake up, think about this. We are 100% responsible and accountable for what we choose to attract and keep in our lives. I love you. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I hope it was insightful. I hope you reflected on this. I hope you got convicted. I hope I sowed a little seed in your heart to reflect and create the self-love you deserve. And stop thinking about people around you. Start thinking of you for once. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for next week's video. And until then, I will see you later. Bye.